Good morning, America. Breaking overnight, Pentagon purge. President Trump firing General C.Q. Brown as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, along with other top leaders. The latest on this unprecedented move, plus members of Congress feeling the backlash.
We are all freaking pissed off about this. You're going to hear it and feel it.
The pushback on the thousands of federal firings.
Breaking news, new hostage release. Hamas frees more Israelis in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. But the misidentified body of Shiri Bibas finally handed over, nearly threatening the fragile ceasefire.
Fight for freedom. LA's new district attorney makes his decision on whether to support a new trial for the Menendez brothers, what he's saying about the challenge to their murder convictions, and claims of new evidence in the case.
Protection request. Actress Blake Lively asking a judge for stronger safeguards amid her ongoing battle with It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni. The threats that have her concerned.
Growing measles outbreak. Reports of the disease in West Texas tripling to 90 cases in just days. Most of those unvaccinated, the symptoms to look for, and how to protect yourself.
Good morning, everybody. Rachel Scott in the house this morning. Janae is off, filling in at the desk. It's great to have you.
Good to be here.
We got a lot to cover today, including spring training in full swing, the changes that you can expect this season in Major League Baseball, and the end of an era for the Yankees.
Plus, LA's fire chief has been removed in the aftermath of those devastating wildfires, but she's not stepping away entirely. Also, murder suspect Luigi Mangione appearing in a New York courtroom, what his attorney is saying about the evidence collected and what has not been provided to the defense.
But first, we do begin here with the federal firings reaching top Pentagon officials overnight. President Trump firing the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and ABC's senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is in Washington following the breaking details. Selena, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Gio. This is an unprecedented purge of military leadership. The president is firing the highest-ranking military officer in this country and other senior leaders. It is sending shockwaves through the Pentagon. Now, the president hasn't directly said why he's firing them, but he has made it clear that he wants to get rid of anyone in the military who supports diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. Overnight, President Trump firing the nation's top military leadership in an unprecedented purge. Trump ousting General C.Q. Brown as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, removing the four-star fighter pilot as America's top military leader, and firing multiple other senior leaders, including Lisa Franchetti, the first woman to serve as the Navy's top admiral, the #2 ranking general in the Air Force, and 3 other senior officers. Brown was nominated by Trump in his first term, which made him the first black chief of staff for the Air Force, but has come under fire as Trump aims to rid the military of leaders who support diversity and equity, as Brown and some of the others who were fired had done. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth once called Brown a DEI hire.
Well, first of all, you got to fire. You got to fire the chairman of Joint Chiefs.
Brown telling our chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz last year he wants to be judged by his abilities.
I want to be judged based on my own accomplishments, based on my merits, and given an opportunity. That's all I've asked for throughout my, growing up. That's what I've asked for throughout my Air Force career. And hopefully, I'm sitting in this chair as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs not because I'm African American, because I'm a quality officer.
Trump nominating as his replacement Dan Kane, a retired 3-star Air Force general who has never served in a 4-star position. The shakeup comes as the Pentagon prepares to lay off 5,400 civilian workers starting next week, in the first wave of firings that could total tens of thousands of workers, as the Pentagon aims to cut 5 to 8% of its civilian workforce. Layoffs also hitting the Federal Aviation Administration. More than 100 probationary employees have been terminated, including team members that produce air traffic navigation maps, multiple sources tell ABC. While Trump insists the cuts are making the government more efficient, angry Americans across the country, from Georgia to Kansas, are pushing back.
We are all freaking pissed off about this. You're going to hear it and feel it.
In a district near Atlanta, Republican Congressman Rich McCormick feeling the heat.
The people would like to know what you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
In Colby, Kansas, voters furious at Republican Congressman Tracy Mann.
Is there anything that Trump and Eli could do that you would not support? I'm sure. Oh, tell me.
These mass layoffs are putting the federal government in turmoil at the same time that the Pentagon is dealing with this big leadership shakeup at the top. It's also starting to lose a significant portion of its workforce. Now, the administration is insisting that this is not going to impact military readiness, but some Pentagon workers tell us that they're concerned it could impact the readiness of troops since the civilian workforce supports them both at home and around the world, guys.
All right, Selena, thank you. Now to the breaking news overnight as Hamas frees more Israeli hostages. This comes a day after an attempted terror attack near Tel Aviv, and the correct body of another hostage was finally returned home. ABC's Inez de la Catera has the latest for us. Inez, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. Yeah, and we just saw that final release of living Israeli hostages as part one of the ceasefire deal as officials gear up to negotiate phase 2. This morning, Hamas releasing 5 living Israeli hostages from Gaza, with the 6th release expected later this morning. 4 kidnapped on October 7th, 2 held by the terror group for more than a decade. Aliyah Cohen, Omer Shem Tov, Tal Shoam, Omer Venkert, Hisham Al-Said, and Avira Mengistu. Tal and Avira first released from Rafah, the other 4 hostages from points in central Gaza, all of them escorted by masked Hamas gunmen. In exchange, Israel releasing hundreds of Palestinian prisoners as phase 1 of the ceasefire deal nears its end. Negotiations for phase 2 expected to begin in the coming days. The fragile deal almost breaking down on Thursday after Hamas failed to release the body of Shiri Bibas, handing over the body of a Gazan woman instead. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowing revenge. Hamas quickly releasing another body overnight. Israeli forensics confirming the remains are Shiri's. The remains of the 2 Bibas boys also released earlier this week. The IDF saying forensics show 4-year-old Ariel and 8-month-old Kfir were deliberately killed by Hamas. Hamas blames Israeli airstrikes. And earlier this week, 4 bombs planted in buses in central Israel. No one was injured, but the attack coming in apparent response to the IDF's ongoing operations in the West Bank. The Palestinian Health Authority says 84 people have been killed there since the beginning of the year, including a 13-year-old boy on Friday. And negotiations to begin phase 2 are set to begin next week. If they are successful, we could see the release of all the remaining hostages, a new governing body in Gaza, and the full withdrawal of all IDF troops from Gaza. Rachel?
Yeah, these are sensitive and fragile negotiations. Inez, thank you. Now to the setback for the Menendez brothers and that decision from the LA County District Attorney saying he is opposed to a news trial. ABC's Doreen Shaw joins us now with details. And Doreen, this closes one legal avenue, but still no decision yet on resentencing.
Rachel, that's exactly right. The previous DA appeared very much for the brothers' release, but now with the DA's most recent decision, the brothers' future appears unclear. This morning, the bombshell decision surrounding the Menendez brothers case. The new LA District Attorney saying he would oppose habeas corpus, the argument that the brothers did not get a fair trial in the 90s, and claiming the brothers have told 5 different versions of their story over the years.
We actually saw stuff that was lied about before the killings, at the time of the killings, and in the months and years afterwards.
The DA saying his team has done extensive research, and there is no evidence that a letter recently found from Eric to his cousin alleging he endured sexual abuse from his father is authentic or relevant for a new trial.
If they had this evidence, if this letter truly existed, the defense counsel would have absolutely used it at the trial.
The brothers were found guilty of killing their parents Jose and Kitty at their $5 million Beverly Hills home in 1996. The brothers claimed that the murders were a result of alleged mental, physical, and sexual abuse at the hands of their father that they say their mother knew about, and then split up in prison to serve life without parole. In recent months, their case has gotten major attention after a Netflix documentary highlighted their story.
What did he do to you?
I'm sorry.
The brothers just days ago opening up on the TMZ podcast, Two Angry Men, about the 35 years of terror they say they confronted in prison.
I was picked on, bullied violently, and it was traumatic. And it was continual.
Now, the DA producing their own video, laying out their version of the case. Friday's announcement is separate from the brothers' resentencing hearing next month, where the brothers claim that they have been rehabilitated through their time in prison. The DA saying he will make a decision about resentencing in the coming weeks.
There's nothing in District Attorney Hochman's statement today that makes me think that he believes the Menendez brothers have rehabilitated to the point that they should go before a parole board. So I can't imagine him supporting resentencing.
The DA also pointed out that the governor could grant the brothers clemency. Newsom's office tells me the governor will defer to the DA's review and analysis of the Menendez case prior to making any clemency decisions. Gio.
A fascinating case, no doubt about that, Serene. Thank you so much. Now we turn to Luigi Mangione, the man accused of killing a healthcare company CEO. Mangione appearing in a New York City courtroom while his supporters gathered outside. ABC's Morgan Norwood joins us with this story. Good morning, Morgan.
Hey, good morning to you, Gio. Luigi Mangione back in court wearing a bulletproof vest and shackles as he faced that judge. Now outside, a completely different scene. Those supporters that you mentioned braving the freezing cold for hours, some even wearing Free Luigi shirts. And now his lawyer is claiming that he was searched illegally the moment that he was arrested.
This was the scene outside a New York City courthouse. A raucous crowd of supporters cheering on accused killer Luigi Mangione and protesting what they call a broken healthcare system. Supporters waiting for Mangione to make his first court appearance since he was arraigned in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The case, a cultural flashpoint. Some Mangione supporters going as far to hack a Department of Transportation road sign to read, "One less CEO, many more to go." In court Friday, Mangione wearing a bulletproof vest over a dark green sweater, surrounded by officers. He was shackled both at the ankles and handcuffed. His attorney arguing images like these will make it difficult for Mangione to get a fair trial.
He is being publicly treated as guilty and as having the presumption of guilt as opposed to the presumption of innocence, which is what he is entitled to.
Mangione pleaded not guilty to all charges in connection to allegations that he gunned down Thompson outside a New York City hotel in December. He was arrested just days later after being spotted at this Pennsylvania McDonald's in Altoona and extradited to New York City by NYPD helicopters to face charges.
We are concerned that Luigi's constitutional rights were violated in Pennsylvania.
His attorneys telling a judge there are, quote, serious search and seizure issues with the evidence Altoona police say they collected from Mangione.
In the months to come, expect the defense to try to exclude a lot of the evidence that was gathered here. The biggest fights in this case may occur before the trial, where the defense tries to keep out of evidence lots of the material and comments and writings from Luigi Mangione.
Now, this hearing was mostly procedural, right? The judge did set deadlines for defense motions with a ruling expected on that by June, but no trial date set just yet. Mangione, who faces life in prison, also has federal charges looming, including one that could bring the death penalty with his next federal court date is mid-March.
All right, Morgan Norwood, thank you. Just weeks after Southern California's devastating wildfires, LA's mayor has fired the city's fire chief. Mayor Karen Bass blamed former chief Kristen Crowley for failures leading up to the massive fires that killed dozens and destroyed hundreds of homes. While she was removed from her position, Crowley will stay with the department at a lower rank. The mayor has also faced harsh criticism for her handling of the fires, including being out of the country when the fires broke out.
And a JetBlue pilot was arrested in Boston right before taking off on a flight to Paris. Massachusetts State Police say 33-year-old Jeremy Guttorf was wanted on a warrant for a sex charge involving a minor. He was taken into custody at Logan Airport while preparing for his flight. JetBlue says it is closely reviewing the arrest, and the pilot has been placed on indefinite leave.
All right, Rachel, Canadian authorities have begun analyzing the black boxes from the Delta flight that crashed trying to land in Toronto. All 80 people on board miraculously survived, the plane flipping over. Passengers just left hanging upside down in their seats. More than 20 people were hurt, but none of them seriously. The company is now facing its first 2 lawsuits in the incident. 2 separate lawsuits were filed Friday, and they likely will not be the last. What?
Geo, health officials are sounding the alarm now as the number of measles cases in West Texas continues to grow, up to 90 now, tripling in just a matter of days. ABC's Christian Cordero joins us now with the latest on that story. Christian, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. West Texas is seeing a rise in the number of measles cases, which has ballooned up to 90 cases, up from 58 reported on Tuesday, according to the state's health department, 16 of which have been hospitalized. Now, measles is a highly contagious disease that spreads through the air when an infected person coughs or sneezes. Its symptoms include a rash, fever, cough, and runny nose, with more serious complications like pneumonia or even brain swelling possible, especially for kids. Of the 90 cases in this outbreak, 85 are unvaccinated or have an unknown vaccination status. And the epicenter of the outbreak is in Gaines County, Texas, near the New Mexico border. State health data shows Gaines County has one of the highest rates of vaccine exemptions in all of Texas, rising from 7.5% of kindergartners in 2013 to 17.5% a decade later. Health officials say having unvaccinated people in a community puts everyone at higher risk and warn additional cases are likely to occur. Now, the CDC recommends children receive their first dose of the MMR vaccine between 12 and 15 months of age and a second dose between 4 and 6 years old. And they're working with Texas officials to get more people protected, especially young kids, to contain this outbreak. This goes beyond Texas. The CDC says at least 285 cases of measles were reported nationwide last year. That's the highest numbers since 2019.
Okay, Christiane Cordero, thanks so much. We're going to have much more on this coming up in our second hour. Dr. Darian Sutton joins us with what parents need to know about the symptoms to look for and advice on protecting kids from the measles.
Hey, let's talk some baseball, huh? It's that time of the year. Baseball spring training is underway right now with a little over a month to go until opening day, and there are some big changes this year. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is here now with more on that. Good morning, Jacqueline.
Gio, good morning. It's perfect for that much better weather. And as you said, there are some big changes underway. We're going to see some big names switching teams. Outfielder Juan Soto will take the field for his first game with his new team, the New York Mets. This comes after inking the biggest deal in MLB history. Get this, 15 years for $765 million. Major League Baseball also testing robot umpires during spring training only. So it's an automated ball strike challenge system. It's not replacing the guy behind the plate, but it is supposed to increase accuracy when there's a challenge. It will not be used during the regular season. Switching gears to the Yankees. Players, coaches, and personnel can now sport well-groomed beards. This upends a 5-decade no facial hair policy. Looking ahead to the regular season, Major League Baseball and Nike announced there were a lot of complaints about the uniforms. So the 2025 uniforms, they're now going to have larger lettering on the back of those jerseys. Nike says it's also working to fix discoloration as a result of sweat and those see-through pants. Guys.
Okay. Oh, those are interesting changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beards on Yankees Stadium. I'm into that.
What was notable about that statement, they said, leave the sideburns out of this.
That's
so
right, exactly.
that's still banned.
Yes.
Awesome. Hey, Jacqueline, thank you so much for that report. All right, still ahead here on Good Morning America, the latest twist in a star-studded legal battle, why Blake Lively is asking the court for stronger protections in her lawsuit against her It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni.
And coming up in our second hour, sitting down with Best Supporting Actress nominee Monica Barbaro on the road to the Oscars.
I never know, and it ain't no use in turning.
Okay, welcome back to GMA this Saturday morning.
Got you there.
Beyonce, Lady Gaga, and The Weeknd have all announced summer concerts, but how much will these experiences cost you? So coming up, Will Gans is going to tell us what's behind what's being called the funflation.
Will always sing along with you, too, by the way. If you get it going. All right, let's take a look at some of the other big stories that we're following on this Saturday morning. Happening right now, the Vatican saying that Pope Francis will not be leading his noontime prayer in public on Sunday for the second week. But he did sleep well as he remains in a Rome hospital battling pneumonia. The 88-year-old pontiff is said to be responding well to treatment and expected to remain in the hospital through next week.
So many wishing him well this morning. Also right now, one of the lawyers representing embattled hip-hop star Sean Diddy Combs has stepped away from the case, saying under no circumstances can I continue. Combs is facing federal sex crime charges. He is now accused of improperly trying to find out the names of people cooperating with law enforcement against him.
And the stock market closing out the week with the worst day of the year. The Dow losing 748 points on Friday, closing at 43,428. The losses coming amid growing concerns about economic growth, tariffs, and inflation.
And we start this half hour with a look at the top political headlines. And joining us this morning from Washington is senior White House correspondent Selena Wang. And we are taking advantage of having our senior political correspondent Rachel Scott at the anchor desk with us this morning. So, Rachel, let's go ahead and start with you, because that breaking news, there was the Pentagon purge overnight. Multiple top officials at the Pentagon fired. How much of this, though, came as a surprise?
Yeah, not so much a surprise for people that have been taking the hints and the cues. Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, said as recently as November that he wanted to see C.Q. Brown gone, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. This is a reversal, though. Trump nominated C.Q. Brown to be the chief of staff for the Air Force back in 2020. Hegseth, though, questioning whether or not he even got his job simply because he is a black man. He made history in this role. And so we started to get some of the murmurs started to shuffle out throughout the Hill, because we started to see that a list was being passed around. His name was ultimately on the list. But a lot of people surprised by this. He's deeply qualified, and like I said, history-making position.
Yeah, a lot to watch there. And Selena, let's turn to you, because you've been talking to IRS workers laid off this week. Obviously, it is tax season right now. So could those layoffs impact the ability for the IRS to even process tax returns?
Well, Gio, unfortunately, the short answer here is that it could. Even though those thousands of fired IRS workers are not supposed to be directly involved in processing your tax returns, these jobs are all connected. And current and recently fired IRS workers tell me that this could cause disruptions and delays. And some lawmakers are even urging people to file your taxes as soon as possible to avoid any potential delays and getting your refund back as well. Now, another big issue here, though, is that the IRS was already dealing with a staffing shortage before all of these layoffs happened. So hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes go unpaid every year because of lax enforcement. So this could make that problem even worse. And just more generally, guys, I'm hearing from experts that it's just not a good idea to fire 6% of the IRS workforce right in the middle of tax season.
All right, so that's definitely something to watch. And Rachel, another story that you've been following for weeks now, despite some tight party line votes, these cabinet picks from President Trump are going through. They're being confirmed by the Senate. What's next in the process here?
Yeah, I will tell you guys, I was on Capitol Hill, and there were so many questions about whether or not there were going to be more Republicans opposing some of these cabinet nominees. In the end, it looks like pretty much every single one of President Donald Trump's picks has gotten through, yes, by some of the narrowest of margins. We saw that with Kash Patel, nominated for FBI director. Ultimately, now we're going to see on Wednesday the very first cabinet meeting. President Donald Trump, all of his cabinet nominees coming together at the White House.
All right, so we'll be watching that. And Selena, let's look at President Trump's policy towards Ukraine, because it looks like a complete reversal of support for President Zelensky.
Yeah, Gio, I mean, what we're witnessing here essentially is Trump rewriting the history of this war. The U.S. is making a complete 180 when it comes to our foreign policy. You have Trump making it clear here that the U.S. no longer wants to try and isolate Putin for invading and brutally attacking a sovereign nation. In fact, President Trump this week, he called Zelensky a dictator, even though he is a democratically elected leader, and he even falsely blamed Ukraine for the war starting. So Trump's comments here, they're still sending shockwaves around the world. And on top of that, you had American and Russian officials meeting in Saudi Arabia this week without Ukrainians at the table. This is sparking deep concern that this could lead to a deal that does not lead to lasting peace and does not lead to lasting security guarantees for Ukraine. But Trump's team, for their part, they believe that what the president is doing here is the only way to end a war that has dragged on for far too long, guys.
Selena Wang, Rachel Scott, we call you the political powerhouse team for a reason. Thank you both so much for that. With actress Blake Lively now asking a judge for additional protections amid that ongoing legal battle with her It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni. ABC's Morgan Norwood is back with the details on this. Morgan, good morning.
Hi, Gio. Yeah, they are still at it. The legal showdown between It Ends With Us co-stars Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, it just got even messier. Let's break this down. So Lively, with support from her A-list actor husband, Ryan Reynolds, who, by the way, were just seen together last weekend at the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. It was their first time seen together on the red carpet since this lawsuit was filed. Well, they are now asking a judge for additional protections in this case. And it goes beyond the protective order that both sides already agreed to. Put a pin in that, because one of the big requests is an attorney eyes only category for highly confidential material. Now, this comes just days after Lively filed an updated complaint, an amended complaint, accusing Baldoni of making other women on set uncomfortable. It's a claim that he strongly denies. And now Both sides say they're facing backlash over this. Lively claims her supporters have received threats, while Baldoni's team say they too have been targeted. So again, the judge has a lot to sift through in this.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Morgan. We appreciate it. Our play of the day and the young basketball player making history here. Take a look at 22-year-old Bailey Cinnamon Daniel, the bottom left hand of your screen there, and the moment she became the first NCAA Division III women's basketball player with one arm to score in a collegiate game.
Wow.
Yeah, so Bailey even faced some rejection when her high school basketball coach cut her from the team senior year, but there was a place for her at Lesley University in Massachusetts. And there you can see that moment there. Bailey's coach says any team in the country would benefit from having a player with Bailey's heart on their team.
Go Bailey.
Celebration.
That's the inspiration we needed this morning.
Definitely.
I love that.
Absolutely. All right. Coming up here on GMA in our second hour, Dr. Darian Sutton is going to join us with how to protect your family from measles and the symptoms to watch for.
And actress Monica Barbaro tells me about the role that got her an Oscar nomination in A Complete Unknown.
And how social media is playing a role in teaching Black history. More when we come back.
Good morning, America. It's our second hour. Breaking overnight, Pentagon purge. President Trump firing the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff along with other top leaders. The very latest on this unprecedented move.
Also this morning, GMA is on the road to the Oscars, going one-on-one with Best Supporting Actress nominee Monica Barbaro.
I fell on the floor and I couldn't believe it.
TikTok teachings this Black History Month. Meet the content creators celebrating and educating.
But let me ask you this, how much do you really know about it?
And the new project that has A-listers saying aloha, why Dwayne Johnson, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Emily Blunt are heading to Hawaii. As we say, good morning, America.
It's Saturday morning. This is GMA.
Aloha A-listers. Love seeing Hawaii there. Good morning, America. Good to see you. That's a lot of star power, right? And we're going to have more details on that new movie coming up in Pop News. And Janae is off this morning, but Rachel Scott is here with us.
It's good to be here this morning. We still have so much news to get to this morning, including what parents need to know about keeping their kids healthy during this latest measles outbreak.
Yep, more on that just ahead, but we start this hour with President Donald Trump firing America's highest-ranking military officer. ABC's senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is in Washington following all of the breaking details. Selena, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Whit. Well, this is an unprecedented purge in military leadership. The president is firing the country's highest-ranking military officer and other senior leaders. It is sending shockwaves through the Pentagon. Now, the president hasn't exactly said why he's firing them, but he has made it clear that he wants to get rid of anyone in the military who supports diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts.
Overnight, President Trump firing the nation's top military leadership in an unprecedented purge. Trump ousting General C.Q. Brown as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, removing the four-star fighter pilot as America's top military leader, and firing multiple other senior leaders, including Lisa Franchetti, the first woman to serve as the Navy's top admiral. Brown was nominated by Trump in his first term, which made him the first Black chief of staff for the Air Force, but has come under fire as Trump aims to rid the military of leaders who support diversity and equity. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth once called Brown a DEI hire.
Well, first of all, you got to fire. You got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs.
Brown telling our chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz last year he wants to be judged by his abilities.
I want to be judged based on my own accomplishments, based on my merits, and given an opportunity. That's all I've asked for throughout my, growing up. That's what I've asked for throughout my Air Force career. And hopefully, I'm sitting in this chair as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs not because I'm African American, because I'm a quality officer.
Trump nominating as his replacement Dan Kane, a retired three-star Air Force general who has never served in a four-star position. The shakeup comes as the Pentagon prepares to lay off 5,400 civilian workers starting next week, in the first wave of firings that could total tens of thousands of workers, as the Pentagon aims to cut 5 to 8% of its civilian workforce. While Trump insists the cuts are making the government more efficient, angry Americans across the country, from Georgia to Kansas, are pushing back.
We are all freaking pissed off about this. You're going to hear it and feel it.
In a district near Atlanta, Republican Congressman Rich McCormick feeling the heat.
The people would like to know what you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
These mass layoffs are putting the federal government in turmoil at the same time that the Pentagon is dealing with this leadership shakeup at the top. It's also starting to lose a significant part of its workforce. Now, the Trump administration insists that these mass layoffs are not going to impact military readiness, but some Pentagon workers tell us that it could impact the readiness of troops, since the civilian workforce supports these troops both at home and around the world. Guys?
All right, Selena Wang, thank you for your reporting. We're going to turn now to the breaking news overnight as Hamas frees more Israeli hostages. This comes a day after an attempted terror attack near Tel Aviv, and the correct body of another hostage was finally returned home. ABC's Inez de la Cuetada is back with us now with the very latest. Good morning again, Inez.
Good morning, Gio. Yeah, and those 6 hostages have now been handed over to the Red Cross, 5 of them back in Israel already. This morning, Hamas releasing 5 living Israeli hostages from Gaza, with the 6th release expected later this morning. 4 kidnapped on October 7th, 2 held by the terror group for more than a decade. Aliyah Cohen, Omer Shem Tov, Tal Shoam, Omer Venkert, Hisham al-Said, and Avira Mengistu, all of them escorted by masked Hamas gunmen. In exchange, Israel releasing hundreds of Palestinian prisoners as Phase 1 of the ceasefire deal nears its end. Negotiations for Phase 2 expected to begin in the coming days. The fragile deal almost breaking down on Thursday after Hamas failed to release the body of Shiri Bibas, handing over the body of a Gazan woman instead. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowing revenge. Hamas quickly releasing another body overnight. Israeli forensics confirming the remains are Shiri's. The remains of the 2 Bibas boys also released earlier this week. The IDF saying forensics show 4-year-old Ariel and 8-month-old Kfir were deliberately killed by Hamas. Hamas blames Israeli airstrikes. And earlier this week, 4 bombs planted in buses in central Israel. No one was injured, but the attack coming in apparent response to the IDF's ongoing operations in the West Bank. And negotiations to begin Phase 2 are set to begin next week. If they are successful, we could see the release of all the remaining hostages, a new governing body in Gaza, and the full withdrawal of all IDF troops from Gaza. Rachel?
All right, Inez, reporting on these sensitive negotiations. Inez, thank you. We turn now to accused killer Luigi Mangione making his first court appearance since he was arraigned. A raucous crowd of supporters cheering him on, protesting what they call a broken healthcare system. His attorneys telling a judge there are, quote, serious search and seizure issues with the evidence police say they collected from Mangione, who's accused of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
If you drive a Tesla, you'll want to hear about this. Tesla is recalling more than 376,000 vehicles because of a possible power steering issue. The recall comes a year after the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration launched an investigation into the issue after some Tesla owners reported problems. More than 50 vehicles were allegedly towed due to the issue. Thankfully, no injuries have been reported. And coming up on GMA in our morning menu, that historic Texas measles outbreak, already dozens of cases, what parents need to know.
Also ahead, the fake Oscar contender who's gaining a very real fan base. That's in Pop News.
And Tori Johnson is here with designer deals and oh so stylish steals. We'll be right back. You're watching GMA on a Saturday morning.
Get up outside.
We're back now with our GMA cover story, and that measles outbreak in West Texas growing to 90 cases and now 9 cases in neighboring New Mexico as well. Here to break down what parents need to know is ABC medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton. Dr. Darian, always great to see you this morning.
Morning.
So break down these numbers for us and what this tells us about the current outbreak.
To understand this, Whit, so we're talking about the most contagious infection that currently exists. And in Texas, this is the biggest outbreak that Texas has seen in close to 30 years. And one of the reasons why is because we've seen a steady decline in the rate of children vaccinated in this country from regular routine vaccinations. The goal of vaccination or herd immunity is to get at least 95% of people within the community to get vaccinated against measles to protect against outbreaks. But since the pandemic, we've seen a steady decline, and we have pocket communities that are significantly under-vaccinated, most notably Gaines County in Texas, which is where we're seeing this current outbreak.
And one of the tricky things, you have these other viruses out there and things like chickenpox, other skin devastating condition. So how do you know if it's the measles symptoms that you're starting to see, and how long does it take for these symptoms to develop?
Yeah, so I treated measles during our outbreak here in New York City in 2019. So the way that it looks, often it can present 1 to 3 weeks after exposure to measles, and it starts out with a cough, a high fever, sometimes exceeding 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and then this rash that can develop about 3 days after that fever, starts at the head and goes down to the body. But I think what's so important is that there are also complications. For example, pneumonia, encephalitis, or an inflammation of the brain or the spinal cord, and even something called immune amnesia, where the virus can decrease your ability to remember your protection against other infections, which can make you more susceptible.
So how do we protect ourselves?
Vaccinations. You know, the MMR vaccine is up to 97% effective in preventing measles, and it's so important to know. So the average risk to the vaccinated individual is relatively low, which is good, but we need to make sure that we get those numbers up. So if you're not up to date on your vaccines, get vaccinated. Also, boosters are generally not recommended, but if you're concerned, you can talk to your doctor about getting tested for a titer. I think more specifically those who've been vaccinated before 1969, you can certainly have that conversation. But again, overall, the risk is relatively low if you are vaccinated.
Interesting. All right, Dr. Sutton, we always appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So the teleprompter here says, hot off the presses, it's pop news. Will Gans is here. I thought that was related to something.
Wait,
is it?
Will is hot off the press?
Is that what it is?
It's related to me. Hot is referring to me, Mario. I don't know why that's so hard to believe, everyone. All right, everyone give me one of these, because we are going to Hawaii this morning. Give me one of these.
My in-laws in Hawaii would be very embarrassed if they
All right, I'm sorry for making you do it. But we do begin by saying aloha to an epic group of Hollywood A-listers gearing up for a crime drama set. Oh yeah, in Hawaii, the legendary Martin Scorsese is reportedly set to direct the new film starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Emily Blunt. Ooh. It's said to center on a mob boss vying for control of the Hawaiian Islands in the 60s and 70s. No word yet on when filming will start, but I do volunteer to run scripts for them when production begins in Hawaii.
At the very least, we got to send you to do the interview.
Okay, you heard it here first, people. Yeah, that's right. All right, next to the Oscars' most iconic actress, and I don't mean Meryl Streep or Katharine Hepburn. I'm talking about Paloma Diamond. She is the fictional creation of Julian Sewell, who has racked up 3 million followers online. In the TikTok world, Paloma is a 20-time Oscar nominee, but she has never won. Here she is at the ceremony back in 2023.
Paloma Diamond, The Remedy.
I can't fix this. That's what I'm talking about. Do you think I want the kids to go through this? I don't.
Okay, so Paloma may be a fictional actress, but she's developed a very real-world following. Paloma was named to TikTok's Discover list in 2025. Fellow creators have been analyzing her career on TikTok. There are entire Reddit threads devoted to her awards campaign this year. And guys, she sat down with me for her very first American broadcast interview. Here's a sneak peek.
I have to imagine so many people, come up to you, being that you are an icon and a legend in your own right. Do you ever get tired of it?
Never. I saw someone at the grocery store just before, she was in her 80s, and she held my hand very close to me, and she said, I just want you to win before I go. It was hard.
So emotional, you guys. You can catch our full sit down later this week on ABC News Live. Fun fact, I had to fight Diane Sawyer for that interview.
Yes,
of
course. Yeah. It's almost like fantasy football for the Oscars.
That's exactly what it's like. Yes. All right, and finally, if you're going to be watching the Oscars from home like I am, I've found the perfect way to level up your popcorn game. Please welcome to the stage the Blockbuster Cookie, featuring movie theater popcorn, brown butter, and chocolate. Take one, you guys.
I was wondering what smelled like
that. Yes, they're all in the cookie. So these are the creations of New York-based baker Daniel Kernel, no pun intended on the last name, who told me the cookies are inspired by his childhood trips to the movie theater with a beloved family friend. If you're looking to make some at home, Daniel says that you can buy kettle corn to save yourself a couple steps from adding sugar and popcorn, or you can treat yourself and order them directly from his website and celebrate like a celeb come Oscar Sunday.
This is so good.
These
That's
are delicious.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's really good. What do you think?
God.
No.
I mean,
that's so good.
So good.
All right, Will, thank you so much. And Rachel, I'm sorry you have to move and not eat your cookie.
Can't enjoy the rest of the cookie because it's because we got something even better than cookies. We got Tori Johnson here with Deals and Steals. Hey, Tori.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Do people know that you and I are we're related because your grandma calls me?
She's a big fan of Tori Johnson.
Yeah, she calls me baby girl. So if she can call me baby girl, we're related.
She's the real favorite
Okay, we're
granddaughter.
starting with performance wear. This is one of my favorite lines, making their Deals debut. It's called Ministry of Supply. These pants are the most comfortable everyday pull-on pants. This is what I wear to like appointments, you know, and I have to sort of like look put together. They're the most comfortable. They've got like really great stretch, fabulous fit, also all wrinkle resistant, so they look great when you're running around the Capitol, girl.
Yeah, you
these
can
are
pack
for
that
you.
in a suitcase.
Exactly. We've got all of their best-selling basics. It's a great one today, and it's all 50 to 60% off. Options for men and women. Okay, then we're gonna come on over here. This is really, really fun. This is called the puffer hug. So let me show you this. You can take this, Rachel, and if you put this around you, you could wear this either as just an open scarf like this, and it's got 2 pockets there, or you could button it all up there, and if you button it up, then you've got, it looks like a vest.
Nice.
So you can go both ways, but most importantly, it's got the 2 pockets to be able to carry all your stuff. These for men and women, all slashed at least in half, $31. It's a really great accessory. You knew
Very
cute
comfortable too.
Yeah,
Might leave this on.
You might leave it on. All right. Speaking of comfort, Third Love, they're all about solving what they call problems. 65 different sizes. The only bra brand that also makes half cup sizes. They're also designed and tested by real women. And when I say real women, I'm like, what do you mean, fake women? And they're like, no, mannequins are what is usually used. But instead, we put bras on real people, and that's how we designed. Their best sellers, this center one right here. It's called the Classic Second Skin Unlined Bra. It's kind of the ultimate everyday easy, similar to like a t-shirt bra. So super comfortable. All of their options, their tops and bottoms, all slashed in half, $10 to $36.
Good price.
So really good
good
prices too.
All right, on to the shoes.
On to the shoes. This is Revitaline. We've got a really big assortment. This is a teeny sampling. These are all options for women, but we've got men's on lines too. Everything from sneakers, slip-ons, boots. And what's great about this is that it's all orthotic based. So it's not just about sort of looking cute and stylish, but it's really about the durability of the shoe, the comfort, the fit, the arch support that's built into them. They are really all about orthotics. All slashed in half today, plus free shipping. Huge assortment if you're in the market for shoes. You go to our website.
I'm looking at these blue ones. They kind of match my outfit.
They're very cute. They're very cute. Okay. Then for your own shoes, this is Protalis. These are inserts. You know who's always interested in inserts? Whit over there. He's kind of our insert king. These are great because he understands that inserts can really change the fit and feel not only of the shoe, but then it really is beneficial to your body. It's a difference that you can feel in your knees, in your lower back, kind of everywhere from the foot up. So these are all designed to be for specific shoe types. So you can get them for sneakers, casual shoes, work boots, larger work boots. So if you're on your feet all day and your feet hurt, think about insoles. All of these slashed in half today, $32.50.
I gotta get a pair of those.
They're really, really good. And then finally, something else that's really great. One of my favorite compression socks from Conrad. These are great because they like to say socks with benefits. So we've got light and medium compression in these. I wear like ankle compression socks all day at home because they just help your feet feel really good. But we've got everything from ankles to knee highs. They fit and feel fabulous, and they're gonna help with everything from reducing swelling, improving circulation, improving fatigue. Plus, look how cute they are.
These are really cute.
They're so
soft.
cute. So they're super soft and cuddly, but then you see they've got that serious compression that's built in here. You on your feet all day, we got to get you compression socks. All of these slashed in half for singles and sets, $6 to $48 for
I love
sets.
it.
Yeah.
Stylish, soft, fuzzy. Tori Johnson,
Grandma
the
Terry,
absolute best.
love you.
And of course, we partnered with all of these companies. Find everything here on our website, plus bonus deals.
Now with Win the Weekend, and everyone deserves a win after years of hard work and service, right? And that includes these 2 service dogs who were thrown a retirement party.
Oh, you're gonna love this. 10-year-old Golden Retriever mixes Chevy and Laika were honored for more than 8 years of working as service dogs at the Cincinnati Children's Hospital, celebrating with treats, handwritten notes, and scrapbooks. Chevy is famous for being able to motivate kids, and Laika is known for her sassy personality and making people laugh.
How cute are they, huh? Their owners say that the two pups are looking forward to relaxing during their well-earned retirement and getting some extra playtime outside. So look at that. How cute is that?
Well
huh?
deserved. Congratulations on an amazing career.
Absolutely.
Love it.
And we'll be right back. You're watching GMA on a Saturday morning. Stick around, folks. And welcome back to GMA on this Saturday morning. We're going to start this half hour here with some of the top headlines we're following right now. New images from a smashed LATAM Airlines jet that had just taken off from Rio de Janeiro. The jet had to turn back after it was struck by birds. Look at that right there. You can see that hole in the plane from the incident. Thankfully, no one was injured, but the flight was ultimately canceled.
And a listeria outbreak has been linked to some supplemental shakes that were distributed to hospitals and long-term care facilities. There have been at least 11 deaths and more than 24 illnesses. The outbreak includes cases dating back to 2018, but remains ongoing. 20 cases have been reported within the last 2 years. The FDA is investigating.
And a basketball blowout as the New York Knicks lose to the Cleveland Cavaliers Friday night. That now drops the Knicks to 0-6 this season against the league's top 3 teams, the Cavs, the Thunder, and the Celtics.
Knicks fans, all right. Okay, we are now on the road to the Oscars with just 8 days to go before Hollywood's biggest night. And I sat down with Best Supporting Actress nominee Monica Barbaro, who plays Joan Baez in the Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown. Take a look.
Dagger 3, up and ready.
She soared to new heights in Top Gun Maverick.
Looks like we're clear on radar, Mav.
Now, Monica Barbaro has earned her first Oscar nomination for her hypnotizing performance in A Complete Unknown.
I'm going back to New Orleans.
My phone starts lighting up and it's just all caps, congratulations. I fell on the floor and I couldn't believe it.
It's emotional, overwhelmed.
Yeah, and so excited. I really was just I think I was laughing hysterically.
Go tell.
Barbaro had the daunting task of portraying folk singer Joan Baez alongside Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan.
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
Joan Baez, of course, an iconic folk singer. How worried were you about how the fans might see you and how Joan herself might interpret your performance?
Oh, I was terrified. I wanted to do her justice, and I also wanted to perfect her sound and make it as close as I possibly could to being her so that she was accurately represented.
You posted on Instagram that you finally got to meet Joan Baez in person. Yeah. What was that like?
It was amazing. I was lucky to get to see her on stage before I was in person with her. So by the time we were sort of backstage, I had kind of calmed down a bit. And we gave each other a big hug.
Prior to landing the role, Barbaro had never been a singer or guitar player and had just months to learn.
I really didn't have a knack for guitar. And so it just was morning, noon, and night. When I spoke with Joan, she said I'd fall asleep with my guitar and then I would wake up in the morning and keep playing. And I was I've done that too. I did the same thing throughout making this movie.
Please see for me if her hair hangs long. For that's the way I remember her best.
I do want to ask you about your connection with Timothy Chalamet, because I understand the two of you didn't actually meet in person until later in the process. It was a music rehearsal, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that waiting to meet him until you were farther along in your musical development actually helped with the chemistry in some way?
I do think it helped with the chemistry to wait to meet each other because it was more similar to how Joan and Bob met. Our job was to show up as these two individuals who are very different from who we are as people and also who had a very specific relationship at a specific moment in time. And so we did everything we could to preserve that. And live performances were really live and real and in the moment and kind of shocking in all the ways that they would have been at the time.
I'm not the one you want, babe. I'm not the one you need.
What if fantastic conversation.
Yes,
and you were saying that she didn't even know how to sing.
She didn't know how to sing. She didn't know how to play guitar. And the guitar style is this very difficult finger-picking folk music style. And she learned all of it in a matter of months.
That's
yes.
incredible.
So I learned a couple of other things about her. She wanted to be an actress since she was 12 years old.
Oh.
It was the Nutcracker that really, that ignited the fire. She wanted to do it. And she's from my hometown, by the way.
Oh.
Yes, we went to rival
that chemistry was
high
so
schools.
good.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely. So shout out to the Bay Area and Monica Barbaro. Congratulations. Yeah. She's definitely a potential favorite to win an Oscar this year. Before the big show, also want to mention that I'll be hosting the On the Red Carpet at the Oscars. The pre-show, that fun kicks off at 3:30 p.m. Eastern and on ABC, and it streams on Hulu. And the 97th Oscars air Sunday, March 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on ABC. Of course, GMA will be on the red carpet Saturday and Sunday, going big as we do every year.
Can't wait to see you there.
Yeah.
Ooh, the road to the Oscars.
It's on.
All right, coming up here, meet the content creators using social media to teach Black history. That's next.
And back here on GMA, celebrating Black History Month and the content creators using social media to honor the past. Morgan Norwood has that story.
How did the Black Panther become the symbol of Black power? I'm so glad you asked.
Did you know you have a Black woman to thank for the heating system inside your home?
These creators are teaching Black history on their own terms, one post at a time.
Don't play with me. What's her name? But let me ask you this. How much do you really know about her?
Author Taylor Cassidy is the brains behind the social media series Fast Black History, dishing out little-known and inspirational lessons to her more than 2.2 million followers.
Name a poet from Black history that changed everything. I had already had a following on TikTok, and I asked myself, what is a way that I can teach people Black history the way that I learned it, the way that I fell in love with it, which is full of joy and resilience and perseverance.
As African American studies courses are being purged from curriculums in schools across the country, with currently 3 states opting to restrict the teaching of the AP level subject in high school.
Hey y'all, I'm Dr. Sid, and I heard y'all were looking for some electives to take.
Black professional educators are joining the trend and taking their classrooms to social media.
So much of African American history is tied into American history. And so to not include African American history really is to include a large portion of this United States.
Dr. Leah Barlow is a professor at North Carolina A&T and accidentally sparked the now viral Hillman Talk University movement.
Hello everyone and welcome to Introduction to African American Studies for the spring semester.
The name, inspired by the popular sitcom A Different World, featuring the fictional HBCU Hillman University.
We mean business around here at Hillman.
Why do you think people took to this so quickly?
Well, I think that what it presents is agency, autonomy, and ownership, right? And so I think in many ways, sometimes we think that we, in order to do something, need permission. And I think that this says, no, we don't, right? We can teach, we can educate, we can activate in ways that move beyond policy.
Classes cover a wide range of topics, from liberal arts to STEM.
Last class, I discussed mercury poisoning from skin bleaching creams, so if you missed that class, please go click that comment to catch up.
And students across the platform are more than happy to take advantage.
There were literally over 700 people in that live. It's continuing to hit me how incredible of an opportunity and a privilege it is to be able to learn like this.
Yeah, the power of social media, very cool. Our thanks to Morgan Norwood for that report. And now to something enchanting, a new line of Disney princess fragrances from our parent company, now available at Bath & Body Works. Lifestyle expert Brittany Levine has a nose for products like this, and a great name, by the way. Welcome. Now, tell us about these products that feature 6 Disney princesses.
Well, this collection just launched. We're so excited about it, and it really features all of our favorite beloved Disney princesses. We've got Ariel, we've got Cinderella, Belle, Moana, Tiana, and Princess Jasmine. And each set really embodies their unique characteristics that define their personalities. So very, very special.
And this is for all generations, for 30-something-year-olds and 13-year-olds.
Yes, well, that's what we love about it, because my nieces, who are princess obsessed, are going to go nuts for this. And we all have that Disney spirit in our hearts. And I've been using Bath & Body Works since I was a teenager. So the fact that this is a combination of both things, it's perfect.
So we have to start with the original, the first Disney princess, Cinderella. Tell us about this scent.
Of course. So with Cinderella, she is known for her kindness, her servitude to her stepsisters, but whether in the garden or in the castle. So this particular set combines that gardenia flower, enchanted musk. She has that sapphire blue amber notes in there, and each set has a body wash, a lotion. They've got your fragrance mist there, and also lip glosses, candles. It's beautiful. So that's Cinderella.
So all of the above. So let's take it to the water, the beach, Ariel and Moana.
Yes, of course. So with Moana, she's really known for giving back to her roots, and she's so proud of where she comes from. So with that beautiful tropical island paradise comes those lush green palms, coconut water, even the plumeria breeze notes, which that was that flower that she was seen wearing throughout the whole movie. You see it everywhere. So those are those combos. And with Ariel, what I love about it, we can do a little...
Yes, let's take a whiff.
Test a little... Ooh, hold on, little mist. I love it because I get it on my body too. So you see that aquatic setting, that beachy feel, really kind of giving back to her home, right? But you have the beach in there. You've got those coral waters. So it's very tropical too, but has that beach effect, and we love it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Thank you, Brittany. So all of these products are flying off the shelves. So scan the QR code on your screen and order online or visit a Bath & Body Works store. And you can head to @ShopGMA on Instagram for a chance to win some of these products. Whit?
All right, Brittany, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Now on GMA with Dr. Ethan Cross. He's the author of the new book, an instant national bestseller. It's called Shift, and the science-based tools that we can use to manage our emotions so they don't manage us. Dr. Cross, good morning.
Great to see you.
Great to see you. Listen, you know how much I love your book, Chatter. That was another bestseller, by the way. Now you've got another one. Let's talk about my favorite topic, grandmas. Because you talk about your bubby, your grandma, being such an inspiration for this particular book. Why?
So my grandmother was like a second mom to me. She watched me every day after school. And she had an amazing backstory. Early 1940s, living in Poland, Nazis invade, witnesses her whole family basically be slaughtered. Wow. Narrowly escapes, comes here, has this amazing life. And all I want to know growing up is, how'd you do it? Why did you do this? And I'd ask her those questions, and she would always deflect. You know, don't ask those questions. Go back to riding your bike. Except for one day a year, she'd have a Remembrance Day ceremony, and she just let it out, and she's like dosing the pain, and that was just really interesting to me.
Wow. That resilience.
Yeah,
strength.
where does that come from? What is this all about? And so it, you know, she told me not to think about emotions, and so that's a really good way of getting a kid to do the exact opposite, and that's what I ended up doing with the rest of my life.
So we've all been talking about the subtitle here, managing your emotions so they don't manage you. And we're like, well, wait a minute, how do we do that?
Yes.
Tell us what you mean by that.
Well, we can't always control the emotions that are triggered. If you've ever brushed up against someone who smells really bad, you have an emotional response.
Sure.
Smells great, opposite. We can't control the emotions that are triggered, but once the emotion starts, that's our playground. That's where we can get in to turn the volume up or down, lengthen or shorten how long it lasts, or even shift from one emotion to the next. And that's what the subtitle's about.
So managing these emotions, right? You say you have 3 emotion regulation tools inside of you. What exactly are those?
So there are 3 types of internal shifters. And I want to go real fast here. One is sensation. Anyone here like to listen to music?
All the time.
Yeah. Okay, so why do you do it? Real quick.
You do feel something.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Feel. I've been listening to music my whole life. 10 years old, got my first tape. Any guess what it was? 1990.
Oh.
Vanilla Ice.
Not far. MC Hammer, You Can't Touch
Oh,
This.
yes.
Not far.
God,
not
I love
far.
That's classic.
We listen to music because we like the way it makes us feel. But if you look at when people are struggling, anxious, angry, depressed, how many people actually avail themselves of this powerful shifter? Only between 10 and 30%. All of your senses are powerful shifters for momentary movement. Attention. Attention's where we shine our spotlight. It's not good to chronically avoid things, but sometimes when you're in the midst of it, getting a little break and coming back, so temporarily avoiding and then re-shifting back, that can be useful. So you've got some exciting things that you're talking about right now. Planning a wedding. I imagine that's a little bit stressful at times. Does getting some time away and then coming back allow you to maybe deal with difficult Circumstances a little bit better?
Yeah, my fiance should step in and plan the rest.
Okay. That's people shifters. That's part 2 of the segment.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's part 2.
That's the advanced
That's
lesson.
part 2. That's the advanced segment. Final thing I'll say is perspective. You probably heard change the way you think to change the way you feel. In the words of one of my best friends, easier said than done. Not always easy to do, but it can be if you know the science-based tools. So 2 things you could do. Shift your perspective by mental time travel. I'm feeling really stressed out about this big event, this wedding. How am I going to feel about this next month, next year, 5 years from now? What you're going through is temporary. It feels real big. I guarantee you, 100%, it will fade. And go back in time.
And go back in time.
Go back in time.
And we can get the rest in the book right now because there's so much information right now. So thank you, Ethan. And Shift is available right now.
And don't forget, ABC News Live is streaming all weekend long. You can get the latest headlines throughout the day.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Oh,
so join us on ABC News Live. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. And we'll be right back tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.
Bye.
Bye.